Chinese goal. China yet to mount any real attack on the Brazilian half. If you're joining us for the first time, by the way, bear in mind that you may not hear much of the crowd, and that's because the crowd are asked to stay quiet during this game so the players can hear the sound coming from the ball. The sidelines where Jafinho is having that tussle with Yafeng Wang are designed as well acoustically to reflect the sound for the players so they can hear the ball sound, hear movement, hear their opponents, and also hear instructions from various guides who are positioned in the top and bottom thirds of the pitch. Yafeng Wang, ball stolen by Cassio Reis. Xiaoqiang Li, number 5, the skipper, mopping things up at the back for China. Wen Fazheng. China on the attack for the first time. Da Silva to come away with the ball. Good run by the big fellow at the back. Tends to run through players rather than around them, Jafinho style. Veteran of Brazil's Paralympic winning sides of the last 2 games, Da Silva. Gledson is the Brazilian number 4. Da Silva on the charge again. Zubin Wang for China.
Substitution for Brazil, leaving the field number 7, Jefferson Gonçalves. On in his place number 10, Ricardo Alves.
Expect the Brazilian coach Ramon Pereira da Souza to rotate his two-star men as we're seeing now, because Ricardo Steinmetz Alves, known as Ricardinho, shown in this tournament every bit as talented as Jafinho on the ball. Elusive runner at the best of times. Well, Brazil, of course, have won both previous football five-a-side tournaments in the Paralympic Games. They claimed gold when the sport made its debut, which was in Athens in 2004. And they defended their title with a 2-1 defeat of China in the final in Beijing 4 years ago. So, something of a grudge match between these two sides here at the Riverbank Arena at the 2012 Games in London. So Ricardinho on the attack for the Brazilian side. China know too well how dangerous this man can be. China relatively new to this game. They only, of course, formed the side to compete at their home games in Beijing 4 years ago. Something of a surprise in that event, going all the way to the final where, as I say, they lost to this talented Brazilian team. Asian champions 3 years ago. Also got a bronze at the World Championships 2 years ago, held in Hereford here in England. Gledson it was shepherding the ball out for the Brazilian side. Chinese corner, Zheng and Wang. Fabio is the Brazilian keeper. One-sided player per side. Generally, it is, of course, for obvious reasons, the goalkeeper. Cassio Reis will chase down Wang in the middle of the pitch. Da Silva putting his foot through that ball. Junji Dong is the man you can see on these sidelines, coaching the Chinese side. So 11 minutes gone in the first half, 25 minutes per half, of course. No score between these two sides, as evenly matched in this game as they have been in the games leading up to this encounter, game number 3. As mentioned earlier, both teams putting 4 past Turkey, both teams failing to score against a combative French side, for whom Frederic Villaroux has been a tenacious competitor. As tenacious perhaps as Cassio Reis is being for this Brazilian side, being chased all the way by Jaquang Lee. Attempt coming in, Ricardinho again. Subin Wang is the man who took a bit of a nasty blow. Wenfa Zheng for the Chinese side. Cassio Reis in front of him, also Ricardinho, number 10. Great skills from the Chinese, number 10. Good ball out of defense from Gledson Barros for Brazil, looking for this man. Gorgeous morning for five-a-side football in East London. Nice 16 degrees Celsius today, humidity at 87%, but a little bit of moisture on the pitch, not that it's stopping Ricardinho going close to Hua Shu in the Chinese goal. Trademark mazy dribble from Ricardo Alves Steinmetz, better known as Ricardinho. Yafeng Wang.
Calma, Cássio, vai nela, vai nela. Vai nela, Cássio. Beleza. Vai, Cássio, volta, volta, Cássio.
Good run by Zheng.
Ladrão. Ó o voo. Do outro lado, Ricardo. Do outro lado, Ricardo. Do outro lado, Ricardo. Ricardo.
Constant talking coming from the players and from their coaching staff and from the guides that you'll see at some stage during this game. The guides for each team dressed normally in pink waistcoats, pink bibs. They pop up behind the goal whenever there's a free kick or a penalty to indicate exactly where the goalposts are. Has been known, because the players talk to each other so much, the odd bit of misinformation passed from one team to the other. Of course, that doesn't really count when you have two teams of differing languages, but certainly at a domestic level. So I'm told the odd team has indulged in a little bit of gamesmanship by issuing false instructions as to their positions, hoping to put off their opponents from time to time. Zubin Wang, the number 9.
Vai, Cássio, na frente dele. Vamos, beleza, cara. Ricardo. Vai você.
Cassio Reis with the shot, saved by Hua Chu. Same player again. The other game in Group B between France and Turkey will follow this one. And as things stand at the moment, a Brazil win will put them through to the semi-finals as group winners. Likewise, a Chinese win. A draw good enough if France fail to beat Turkey by 4 goals. Now, if Brazil and China stay like this at 0-0 and France beat Turkey 4-0, all 3 teams will go into a draw conducted by the organising committee to decide who finishes first, second and third. If they draw 1-1 in this game and France win 5-0, the same will happen, and so on. could get a little bit complicated. Maths is not my strong point. You're going to have to bear with me. I shall be taking advice from the organising committee, but let's hope we get a result in this game. The likes of Wenfa Zheng certainly committed for China. There's another committed player, dare I say it, occasionally overcommitted, Gabriel da Silva. Ricardinho. Of course, more games coming later in Group A when Argentina plays Spain in a few hours' time. Great Britain taking on Iran in their final game. Spain could go through even if they lose. A win would definitely put them through. A draw also enough, as they've scored more goals than Argentina. And if they lose, they will go through if Britain, the home side, fail to beat Iran. Certainly Britain, Spain and Argentina, as the results have proved, looking fairly evenly matched in Group A. Some terrific scraps already we've seen in that group. This is a combative game as well. It's another well-matched group. We saw a terrific scrap in game one for this Brazilian side against France, which they drew 0-0. Terrific play, terrific effort by a man who's becoming a star of this Brazilian side, Ricardinho. Very unlucky not to score just the width of the post, and I think Hua Chuju was beaten in the Chinese goal.
Coming on in his place, number 7, Jefferson Gonçalves.
So Ricardinho is going to take a breather. The other star attacker, Jafinho, coming back on for the Brazilian side, as the coach Ramon Pereira de Souza rotates his attackers.
Each team is permitted to take a 1-minute timeout per half, and People's Republic of China have elected to use theirs.
So Junji Dong, the Chinese coach, and Ramon Pereira de Souza, just a chance to reassess, have a chat with their team, make sure communication is of the max. Heading into the last 4 minutes, 0-0 in this Group B encounter, final group game for both teams. This player Jafinho was close early on in the game. Made his name 4 years ago, of course, in Beijing. Had a cracking game against Turkey in the last match. Ricardinho, some fabulous skills on offer for the man who hit the post just a few minutes ago. Good effort. China immediately on the attack. Zhubin Wang. Well, just incredible play from Jofinho. Not for the first time. He's delighted his coach and the rest of the Brazilian support on the sidelines. Quite remarkable what this man can do from time to time. And you can see what it means to the Brazilian squad against a hotly fancied Chinese side. Incredible ball skills. On the outside of that right boot, flying the ball past Hua Shuzhou in the Chinese goal. 1-0 to Brazil as we head towards the halftime break. It's Gabriel da Silva who is being asked to step to the sidelines, while I'm not entirely sure if it's his hair or his blindfold that is sorted out. The referee's very keen to make sure that all players have the same visual impairment in this game to level the playing field. I think his ponytail needed a bit of attention as well, and he's back on the field of play. David Bryant is refereeing this, the British referee. Hermino Lubrano of Argentina and Rafael Gonzalez of Mexico, his two assistants. Gledson, the man who cleared his lines for Brazil. Casio Reyes. Yafeng Wang getting involved for the Chinese side. Xiaokang Li, number 5. Skipper of this Chinese side. Good run by Yafeng Wang. Ball just running away from him at the end for a Brazilian gold kick. China will want to get back on the score sheet as quickly as possible. Preferably for them, like any team, before half-time to go into the half-time break. Even Stevens. Casio Reyes being helped by Da Silva. Closed down by Zheng. Rarely seems to be stressed or troubled in defense, Casio Reyes. Got an imperious nature about his play when he comes out with the ball. Generally finds his man. Generally Jofinho or Ricardinho, or in the previous game, Nonato as well, Raimundo Alves. Mendes Nonato, who's another elusive player for the Brazilian side. Zhubin Wang for China. It's a good run. Well, Fabio, the goalkeeper, having a bit of a problem. Clock is stopped at 23:45, just over a minute to go in the first half. Let's have a look. Took a bit of a nasty knee from Zhao Qiang. I beg your pardon, Zhubin Wang to the face. Injury is not uncommon, of course, in this event. Certainly in previous match in Group A, we saw more than one player having to go off from a bash of the heads, which is entirely normal, of course, if you're playing at pace and you can't see exactly where you're going. Certainly David Clark, the Great Britain captain, has been in the wars quite a few times, having to go off for various blood-related issues to the head. Can get a little bit gruesome. Fabio has the time out to recover from that bash to the ankle and the knee to his head as well. Let's take a look at these Jofinho skills again. Wenfa Zheng, Jofinho, superb players with great ball control. Picadinho not bad either. So just over a minute to go until the half-time break, as Brazil at the moment sit atop Group B and looking good to go through to the semi-finals. Interesting observers will be the French team, of course, who play against Turkey later on, because a Brazilian win may well suit them nicely. They'll know exactly what they have to do to go through to the semi-finals. They know they've got to beat Turkey to progress, but if this result stays the same, then a win would be enough for the French side against a Turkey team who've conceded 8 goals so far. Conceded a few penalty kicks as well. Zhuqiang Li for China with that run as we head towards in the last few seconds. Just time for the corner and not much more effectively. Referee David Bryant bringing conclusions to a halt for now. This is the man who's given Brazil that decisive lead with a cracking goal, and the best we've seen so far in this tournament. Jefferson Conceição Gonçalves, better known as Jofinho. China plenty to think about in the second half if they're going to come back into this game and, of course, get back into contention for a place in the semi-finals of the five-a-side football. We'll come back and talk to you in 10 minutes' time.
Hold on to the handrail as you leave the stadium. There is no smoking at the Riverbank Arena. There is a smoking area that you can find along the fence line in the concourse. Please don't smoke in any other area. So, half-time, Marcus, Brazil started that match at 100 miles an hour, and then China matched them blow for blow. This is a real war of attrition, isn't it?
That's right. It was a real stalemate until the goal, as we predicted. You know, the teams kind of cancelling each other out. But what a goal from the number 7, Jafinho. We mentioned him before. He's produced the goods, a fantastic goal, and that's what separates the sides so far at half-time.
And you'll note as well that both teams seem to be very wary of each other's attack. It's a very defensive game. They're playing one man up front, 3 in defence. None of these sides want to concede. That's right. In the first couple of games, we've seen them both play with 2 attackers out wide. So whenever the guy in the middle of the pitch gets the ball, he knows just to put the ball out wide, which the ball will bounce off the wall, make a noise, and they're on the attack. Whereas, as you say, Pete, they've been much more defensive because they're well aware of each other's attacking capabilities. So China perhaps will need to come out in the second half, perhaps put 2 of their players on the wings and attack Brazil a bit more, and it could open it up. Perhaps you expect, but we can't have any noise, please, from our audience.
Vai você!
Goal scorer for Brazil, number 7, Jeff. So hopefully we have helped to explain a few of the intricacies, the rules of Paralympic five-a-side blind football. Marcus, I can see in the east stand, who's taken one of our match balls up there so you can get a feel for exactly what our players, our athletes are dealing with here on the five-a-side pitch. Marcus.
Absolutely. I'm in the East Stand and I'm with Daniel and Tim from Colchester. Tim, you've got the ball in your hands at the moment. How does it strike you? What are your thoughts about the ball immediately?
Well, obviously it's makes it nice and easy for them to hear with the rattling. It's hard, it's good.
It's quite heavy, isn't it, for a ball?
Yeah.
Daniel, what have you made of the first half so far?
Very competitive. It's end-to-end, really. One goal, but anyone's game.
And Tim, have you enjoyed it yourself?
Yeah. As past best myself, it's really interesting to be here and see how good they are, and obviously how well they cope with playing without the MCN.
And Daniel, what have you made of the skill level so far?
Incredible, really. We're both partially sighted ourselves, actually, so we're kind of gauging or listening to the ball ourselves from up here, and the way that the crowd are reacting and saying how good people are actually doing, it's amazing.
Everyone's been quiet and proper while the game's going on.
Yeah, but you can obviously hear people whispering like in the ground saying that's amazing, really good control and stuff. So it's great.
Well, thanks for chatting us, guys. Back to you, Pete.
Thank you, Marcus. Now, just because you're quiet, don't think our athletes don't know that you are there. They are fully aware that you're there. They're fully aware of the support that you are giving from the crowds. But please, once again, and we'll keep reminding you, while the ball is in play, our athletes need absolute silence from the stands, please. Once a goal goes in, by all means, raise the roof. But while the ball is in play, just so our athletes can hear it and know where they are meant to be, nice and quiet, please, from the stands. Thank you. One goal the difference in the first half, a huge second half to look forward to. Would you welcome back to the Riverbank Arena, Brazil and... One change in the break for Brazil, leaving the field number 7, Jefferson Gonzalez, on in his place number 10, Ricardo Alves.
So we're back underway in the second half of this Group B decider between Brazil and China. Both teams so far unbeaten, and so far Brazil, as you can see, in the ascendancy after that terrific Jefinho goal in the 21st minute of the first half, putting Brazil at the moment top of Group B. China with it all to do. Well, very nearly an unfortunate encounter in the Brazilian defense. De Silva and Cássio Reis getting a talking to from Fabio. Brazil currently, as things stand, on 7 points at the top of Group B. China would end on 4 points as things stand, and that means that if France beats Turkey, which is highly likely given the way that Turkey have been playing so far, and certainly France, then France would go second in the table on 5 points, and that would mean China, beaten finalists last time, would be out unless they get something out of this game against Brazil. Another amazing run by the elusive Ricardinho, Brazilian number 10. Played 4 years ago, of course, in China. Knows all about these opponents. Zubin Wang coming forward for the Chinese team. Wang again, the man leading the line for China. Desperate to get back to level terms with Brazil. One of the problems, of course, in playing against a team as good as this is that it's very hard to actually get hold of the ball when the likes of Jofinho and Ricardinho and Cássio Reis get the ball. They tend to keep it a long time. All of them elusive runners. Muscle provided by this fella. Who's going well, Gabriel da Silva. Terrific run. Played in the last 2 gold medal winning sides for Brazil. And that's the closest the Chinese side have come to getting back into this game. Wang Zuban. Certainly China stepping it up in the second half. Yafeng Wang with this run down the wing. He's got Cássio Reis with him, who's going to come away with the ball. Looking for Ricardinho. Good play, good use of the wall by Zheng. He's got two walls to contend with there, the one on the sidelines and Gabriel da Silva. Nice crowd starting to build up at the Riverbank Arena. Crowds have been coming from very early every day. Certainly when I came in this morning, trains were packed for the early events. Ricardinho taking a tumble. Got to say there's a fair bit of noise as well, considering the crowd are not allowed to make any noise at all. All you're hearing is coming from the players and the coaching staff. Here comes the goal scorer.
Substitution for Brazil, leaving the field, number 10, Ricardo Alves. On in his place, number 7, Jefferson Gonzalez.
So Ricardinho will take another breather. Expect to see him a little bit later on. Looking to catch the Brazilian defense unawares. Hua Chiu-Zhu in the Chinese goal. Zubin Wang taking a bit of a knock there. Jafinha is going to try and go through a lot of them. He's done it before. Quite amazing skills on display from this man. Unerring ability to know where the ball is at any time at all, and to know where the goal is as well, even more remarkably. Jafinha, scorer of 1 goal so far today, looking for plenty more. But China know they need to get back into contention. This is a terrific run. Zubin Wang, one of their potent players. Anything Jafinha can do, he reckons he can do just as well. This is terrific. Inches away from giving Fabio a real problem. Da Silva, as ever, in the mix in the Brazilian defense. Yafeng Wang for China. Casio Reyes chasing him. This is terrific stuff by Yafeng Wang. Gabriel de Silva. He's looking for the ball. He doesn't care what's in front of him, be it a wall or a man. Jofinho again. Bit of a bashful Xiaoqiang Li there in getting his body in between Jofinho and the goal. He's a tough man, being looked over carefully by the referee, David Bryant. Somewhat winded, but okay. Fabio looking for the long ball to Jofinho again. It's terrific to watch the way he just skips to one side, senses who's near him, comes back inside, goes on these lovely arcing loops when he gets the chance, which led to that first goal in the later in the first half. Bit of a dogfight in the middle, but Gledson, who's been quiet in this game, effective at the back, will feed his star player. Well, you've got to say that is magnificent play from Jofinho. The goals he scored as well, and it's not just in this Paralympics, come from that minimal backlift. He knows the ball is close to his foot, whips it through very quickly, as a lot of players do in this form of five-a-side football. More chance of getting hold of the ball when you can't see it, less chance of an air shot. But when he catches it, as you saw there, it can really fly.
Brazil have elected to take their timeout.
So chance for Ramon Pereira de Sousa to have a word with the likes of Gabriel Silva and Gledson and Casio Reyes and Jofinho. Ricardinho as well, we expect to see more of later in the game. Jun Zidong on the Chinese bench has got a lot of talking to do to get his side back into contention. This is Casio Reyes going close. And this is the one of the better chances for the Chinese side. Zubin Wang with that Chinese chance that really deserved a goal after a terrific run. This is Ling Zhang who's going to come onto the field of play. Likewise, Brazil making their own choice.
Just a gentle reminder to supporters, please, while the ball is in play, please absolute silence from the stands. Substitution during the timeout for People's Republic of China, leaving the field number 11, Wang Yafeng, and in his place number 8, Zhang Lijing. And for Brazil, leaving the field number 4, Gledson Barros, or in his place number 6, Marcos Felipe.
So Marquinhos on for Brazil at the heart of the Brazilian defense. So China to build from the back in their efforts to get back on parity with Brazil in this game. They know a defeat is going to put them out if France win their next game, which is coming up against Turkey. Marquinhos with a good run, storming run from the back. There's a round of applause for Marquinhos. Marquinhos and Jafinho confronted by the massed ranks of the Chinese defense. Still Marquinhos comes through with the ball. Chance for Zhu to set his team off on the offensive again, looking for that long ball. He's done that before. Wang Fazheng very nearly getting lucky. Terrific play by China. No wonder coach is looking frustrated. He knew that move deserved a goal. Wang Fazheng increasingly influential in this Chinese side. Number 10 in the center circle. Fabio straight to Jafinho. One of those lovely arcing runs from the Brazilian. Still plenty of time on the clock for China to get back into this game.
Substitution for People's Republic of China, leaving the field, number 8, Zhang Lijing. On his place, number 11, Wang Yafeng.
So Wang Lafeng coming back on, try and stir things up in the Chinese attack. Marquinhos getting stuck in on Zubin Wang. China know one goal is going to change this game and also change what goes on in the group. Could have a scenario where the organising committee comes into play to draw lots to decide who comes first, second and third. If this game is 1-1 and France win the next game against Turkey 5-0, that's when the organising committee will come into play. Brazil know if they hang on to this 1-0 lead, they're group winners. China needing 2, of course, to win the group. Both teams having identical points and goal difference coming into this game, both putting 4 past Turkey, both drawing 0-0 with France. Xiaoquang Li conceding the corner, the Chinese captain, number 5. Wang Fajiang for China, looking for an opening. Hotly pursued by Casio Reyes, Marquinhos, Gabriel de Silva. Chased down and outnumbered. That's going to go for a corner. Yafeng Wang, Wen Fajiang to try and conjure something from this corner with 6 minutes on the clock.
Good substitution for Brazil, leaving the field number 7, Jefferson Gonzalez, on in his place number 10, Ricardo Alves.
It's been a pattern all the way through this game, from Ramon Pereira de Souza rotating his 2 star men. Ricardinho coming on for Giafinho. Time ebbing down for this Chinese side. They really want to be masters of their own destiny. What they don't want is to have to defend on a surprise result in the next game between France and Turkey, because a France win against Turkey, if things stay the same as they are here, will put China out. France and Brazil through. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that Turkey could beat France. Zubin Wang with their best ever of the second half so far. Fabio always alert in the Brazilian goal. Fabulous run, fabulous shot. But the odds are against a Turkey victory against France, given that Turkey have conceded 8 goals so far and scored none. Zheng to Wang Zubin. Cássio Reis using his body well to shield that ball. Gabriel Silva backing up behind him. This is Marquinhos. Likes to amble forward if he can get a bit of momentum going. Zheng doing well for China. They need to get the ball back into the Brazilian half. Time ebbing away. Not only one of the issues for China getting hold of the ball and keeping it with the likes of Ricardinho and Cássio Reis and Jefinho, so good at keeping possession. Also got to be said that this Brazilian side puts the hard yards in. Gabriel da Silva loves getting stuck in the back, so does Marquinhos, so does Gledson. They're as combative in defence as they are potent in attack. Good effort by da Silva. So as things stand, if this result stays the way it looks like it may, Yafeng Wang had something to say about that. It would be Brazil, top of the table on 7 points. China, second currently on 4 points. But game's done for China, 1 game to come. France playing against Turkey. France are on 2 points. A win for France will put them through in second place, and China would not make the semi-finals. Ricardinho taking a tumble. Final chance for China to attack. Zubin Wang. That's it, it's all over. It's a Brazilian win. It's a hard-fought win as well. They go through as group winners of Group B. Jefinho, the man with the goal. Look at the delight of the players into the semi-finals with a great chance of defending their Paralympic gold medal as well. China, well, they gave it their all, and they're not out yet. They have to depend on what happens in the next game, but they know that it's going to be a decent French side against a Turkish team that has so far underperformed in this tournament.
So here's how the table looks with 1 more game to go. Brazil have won Group B.
1 more game to come in this group, but that is all for coverage of this game. A Jefinho goal giving Brazil a 1-0 win over China, and it means that they win Pool B and they're into the semi-finals. From Francis Collins at the Riverbank. Bye-bye.
Just the way 2 competitors have thrown or jumped. For example, as I look away to my left now in the seated javelin competition, Mina Corte of Colombia is showing on the screen. It says Act 1, attempt number 1. And there's a blank space in the bottom right corner of that scoreboard, which will flash up her distance when she throws very shortly. The seated throwing competitions are slightly different to the rest in that each competitor takes all of their throws in one go. Normally, of course, for example, in the Olympic Games, the athletes will go in rotation, taking one throw each. In the seated competitions, because of the practicalities of getting competitors into the right position in their throwing frames or their wheelchairs, each competitor takes each of their attempts one after the other, then they move out and the next competitor moves in. What also happens is after 3 throws, there are 6 rounds in total in the throwing and jumping competitions, and after 3 of those, the field is reduced to the top 8, who then throw in reverse order with the furthest thrower going last.
T54.
Back to the track we go, and the wheelchair competitors in position for the second semi-final in the women's 800 T54. The fastest in the field is the Swiss athlete in lane number 2, Manuela Scher. Gunilla Wallengren of Sweden, Zhu Lihong of China, Patricia Mustafa of Mauritius, Amanda Kotage of Finland, Christina Schwab of the USA, and Kira Lynn Free of Canada make up this. There are 7 competitors, and once more the first 2 in each heat will qualify. They're positioned away to our right. As I'm sat, by the way, my commentary position is at the back of the lower tier, and I'm 20 metres short of the finish line in the home straight, looking with the sun just up to my right-hand side on the far side of the stadium. So away the athletes go, a particularly slow start.